What's up, metalheads? My name's Jamie. This is the Blades and EDC channel. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. To be completely honest, you guys, I already unboxed this during my last live stream. Just a brief look at it. But I am going to do a new unboxing for those of you that weren't there, and we're going to do a scale swap on this knife. This knife is the Urban EDC Supply exclusive Knafs lander. It comes with an additional set of scales. This knife was sent to me by my friend Steven. Thank you very much, Steven. Oops. And this box is so tight. Yeah, it creates a suction. It's so tight. So it comes like this with these micarta scales, which are actually quite nice. This knife has fantastic action too. I'm surprised how much I like this little knife, actually. I believe this is M390 blade steel, if I'm not... Yeah, M390 blade steel. And but it also comes with some of the Sigaha. I'm probably butchering that name. Nobody's ever corrected me and told me how to pronounce it. So, which is a Japanese word, from my understanding. These scales that you can swap out. Now, supposedly, it's extremely easy to swap these scales out because you don't have to take the pivot out. The scales are just milled out around the pivot, and you just take the 4 screws out. Well, a little more than 4. Because you got to take the pocket clip out and the pocket clip filler out, but supposedly pretty easy to swap out. We're about to find out. Let's give it a go. I will link this knife in the description, by the way. I am an affiliate with Urban EDC Supply, and if you use my code BEDC10, I believe it is, but it will be in the description, you can get 10% off. It looks like a T8 on the pivot, T6 on everything else, maybe. Let's see here. T6, T6, T8. Alright, so let's jump right in here. I don't have my normal mat out here because we shouldn't have to fully disassemble this knife, so it should be fairly cut and dry. Got some oil on it from somewhere. Did that come out of my driver? Where'd that come from? I'll clean that up later. Where did that oil come from? Maybe it's inside the package because I've already had this out of the package or the plastic. So maybe add some oil in there and it got on the scale because I have not oiled it. Alright, so far these screws are the same. Pocket clip screws are different, so you want to keep those separate. And the scale should come off. We don't even need the pivot screws. See how that works? That's awesome. So you don't have to take the entire knife apart to swap the scales. And there are lots of other scale options out there you can get. You can pick all different kinds of scales, different colors, and do whatever you want to do with this knife, which is really, really cool. Now for me, I like the size of this knife, but a lot of people are not going to like the size of this knife. I think a lot of people are going to think it's too small for them. It's almost too small for me, and you guys know me. I like smaller knives. I'll show you what I mean about that momentarily. It's not too small for me, but it's on the smaller side for me. So if you've got very large hands, this knife may not be one you will like, unless you just like to have a little small pocket knife, just for random tasks. But if you're one of the people that like the, you like Chavez style size knives, or paramilitary 2 size knife, something like that, you may not. This may not be the one for you. Oh, I didn't get that screw started. I thought I did. There we go. I do like these scales. This micarta has a lot of resin in it, and it almost sounds like metal, but it is micarta. It has a lot of resin. I guess they did all the resin so they could do this milling and it would hold its form very well. So it doesn't have that normal texture like you would expect on micarta, but I do like it a lot. You don't feel the fibers. You can see the fibers, but you can't feel the fibers because of how much resin they put in it. And again, like I said, I'm sure that's so they could do this milling pattern on it. If you didn't have all that resin in it, it would just fuzz up when you milled it. So yeah, for a medium-sized hand, I'm almost at the end of the knife. I can choke up a little bit here, but not too much. Large hand, you may be okay, but extra large hand, probably going to be a 3-finger knife for you if you're one of those giant people out there. But for me, this knife works. I actually like it a lot. I like that they give you a filler tab for the pocket clip reversal. Although it would be cool if they would sell the scales for left hand and right hand, right? Make left-handed scales and right-handed scales. They may do that, I'm not sure. That would make a lot of sense since you're making all these additional scales in different colors or having them made. Go ahead and make left-handed and right-handed versions. Obviously make many more right-handed than you do left-handed, because there's many more of us than those crazy lefties that got the whole world upside down and backwards, unfortunately for them. No, I'm kidding. Must be tough being a lefty. Man, that fitment is really tight. There's nothing else holding that in there. The other one came off much easier. There it goes. Yeah, very tight fitment, which is a good thing. Very cool. I love this. Never seen micarta with this milling in it before. You don't see much micarta with any milling in it, other than like this one with the frag milling. But this is much more texturous because it's not as finely milled, I think. This has much more. It almost sounds like plastic or metal when you tap it, but it's not. It is micarta. All right, let's see here. Very cool knife though. I can't remember the price on these off the top of my head, but it's M390, so, and you get the extra scales, which are very nice. I guess it's in that $150 range if I remember correctly, but I can't remember. I looked this thing up. The cool thing about this knife is it's, you know, you can do whatever you want with it. There's all kinds of scale options out there for this knife you can buy. I think they make a version with a satin blade also. Now, I don't know if these are in stock or not. I got to be completely honest with you. I haven't looked. But like I said, I'll link it down below. And you guys can take a look if you're interested. Let me wipe this oil off of this scale real quick. I'm going to put these back in the box for Steven. There we go. So, oops, yeah, that's a tight fit. We will put these back in here for him. This knife will be going back to Steven. And I'm actually considering getting one of these. That's how much I like this little knife. Also love the fact that you can, you know, buy so many different sets of scales for it and make it look however you want it to look. That's super cool. And it's not third parties making it. I believe it's QSP making them. QSP is the OEM of the knife, so I believe QSP is the people who are making the scales also, but don't hold me to that. I'm not sure about that. One thing I can tell right off the bat, this scale on this side, see this? It's darker than the scale on this side. This was a lighter looking green micarta, kind of a teal micarta. This, you know, when you look at it from this angle, they look pretty much the same. It's just from the top here is where I see the difference. You could oil these scales also, darken them up for sure. Throw some mineral oil on them, and they will darken up quite a bit. And I think they look even better with mineral oil. All that white area in there would be darker, and the darker area would be even darker. I think it would look better. It'll do that naturally over time from carrying it, just from the oils in your hand. But if you want to go ahead and speed the process up, get a bottle of, I don't know if Steven wants to do this, so I'm not going to do it, but you can get a bottle of mineral oil at Walmart. This size, it's like $3. This will last you forever. Literally, this one bottle will last you forever. And you can darken any micarta. Not any micarta. I'm not sure how well this one will take it, because this one is pretty, has a lot of resin in it. Softer micarta takes it extremely well. I think this will definitely take it, but I don't know if it'll darken as much as, you know, a micarta that doesn't have as much epoxy, or not epoxy, but I'm not sure what kind of resin they're using. They're using some kind of resin in it, but man, I really like this thing. I am going to do an overview video of this knife. I want to spend a little more time with it though, but man, the detent is, it reminds me of the detent on the Penguin. It does. It's QSP, so it makes sense. But the Penguin, the liner-like Penguin anyway, is on washers. This knife is on bearings, so it is snappy as hell though. I think it's snappier than the Penguin actually. Yeah, it is snappier than the Penguin. Yeah, it's snappier. You can see it. Watch. That blade flies out, but not nearly as fast as this thing whips out there. Yeah, just a great little everyday carry, right? If you want something lightweight, customizable, great blade steel, M390. Yeah, it's a great little, and this pocket clip is replaceable. I don't think it is titanium though. No, it is not titanium, but you can get I about guarantee you a Kaiser pocket clip would fit this, or lots of other pocket clips have fitted. I'm sure Civivi or Kaiser titanium clip, one or the other will fit this. One thing I'm not crazy about is this pocket clip. Kind of ramps up a little bit, but because of this, how small it is, I feel it. And in my original unboxing of it, I was like, I hate that. Why did they do that? But the more I've held this knife, it's not bothering me as much as I thought it was. I think it's because of how small it is. Your hand has to curve more, so you don't really, the palm doesn't really get down on that. I feel it, but I don't think it's going to be a hot spot, a bad hot spot. Honestly, I'd replace the clip anyway if it were me, for sure. And honestly, they really should not have left it pointing up like that. They should have flattened that out a little bit. No excuse for it, really. I'm not going to defend them on it because somebody should have known better than to point your pocket clip up like that. But it's not that bad, even though they did it. It's not that bad compared to some other knives I've felt. I do feel it though, and if you're going to do continuous cutting, honestly, you may actually feel it. Yeah, but easy fix, $15 replacement, and you can add some color. You could anodize it. The high voltage green with these scales would look really good, or you could get a black one, still look really good. So, alright guys, thank you so much for watching. That is the Knafs Lander, the Urban EDC Supply exclusive Lander. I really do appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you guys on the next one.